Hello, trail travelers. We are here at Overland Expo West in Flagstaff, Arizona, 2022. And we're going to show you some highlights from the show. But already one of the things that has really stood out and stood out big is the number of huge expedition style vehicles that are here at the show. And these things can range from a couple $100,000 to well over $1 million. So I'm really curious about the type of people that are buying these and where they're taking them. But there are a bunch of these here on display at the show. We're going to see all kinds of trailers. We're seeing all kinds of different products here. So stick with us. We've got some great interviews from here at Overland Expo West. And we're over here at the Deadman Off-Road booth with the founder, inventor, Bryant. And how you doing, man?
Doing good, how are you?
Good. Tell us a little bit about the products and how they came to be.
Absolutely. So what we have here is the Deadman. We call this our anchoring solution. So you have a winch, you need to have an anchor on the other end of the winch, otherwise it's useless. And so this thing here can do that, create that anchor point for you. So what it can do is you can wrap it up and use it as a tree saver, so wrap it around a tree. Or you can actually spread it out like this and you wrap it around a rock and it'll hug a whole rock. It'll be way more stable than a normal tree saver would be.
Oh yeah, slipping off and things?
Exactly. So
well, because you're pulling from 4 points.
Exactly, you're pulling from all 4 corners, and so it can hug the whole rock and be a lot more stable. And then if a rock or a tree is not available, you can actually bury it in the ground. So you can bury it in the sand, you can bury it in the snow, you can bury it in the dirt, anything. If you can dig it, you can bury this thing and then create that anchor point there in the ground. So it does all those things. It's rated at 66,000 pound braking strength.
Wow.
And it fits into a small bag. So here is our bag. And it fits in there, and you can strap it to your roof rack, you can strap it to a roll cage. It's super accessible and lightweight. Being lightweight like that, it's not something that you have to think about whether you want to carry it or not. You just do it. It's just in your vehicle.
That would easily fit under the back seats of a Jeep or something.
It is. It's super compact to be able to do a lot of different things. You can also use it as a work mat if you need to. You guys coming from Colorado, obviously you're dealing with a lot of snow. If it's packable snow, this actually is very effective.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you about that because one of the other guys told me about that, and I'm like, I've never seen this used in the snow, so I'm curious, how much snow does it take? Really?
Actually, not a lot. So if you can compact the snow can get very heavy and very solid. So there was a time where I was dragging my 6,500 pound Sequoia through a snowfield. I was just like it was just too deep for me to get tires to touch. But I buried it about 18 inches, and before I hit solid ground, packed it up, and it was snow, and I was able to drag myself all the way through the snowfield to the other side. So it doesn't take a lot. Now, powder snow, you can't pack it; it's not going to be as effective. But
that nasty wet stuff that we have in Colorado, that stuff gets heavy.
Yeah, and it traps you. You know, it's like it just sucks you down. So it is very effective in the snow.
Excellent. Now, this is a redesign of the original, right? What's new about this?
So the biggest difference we did is we actually made this now a single loop all the way across and back. It's still 15 feet from end to end, so it can be used as a winch line extension or another or a tow strap if you needed to. But the advantage of this is that it just simplifies the whole assembly of it when you're using it for recovery. So you bring the 2 ends together with one soft shackle, and then as you load it up, it'll actually the shackle will slide until all 4 corners are being used at the same time.
So it'll kind of self-center.
Self-centers and self-balances, and makes it much more effective in the recovery because you're using the full capacity of the Deadman when you're doing the recovery. So it's a simpler design, but it's also an even more effective design. We did have something similar on the old design, but this was just way easier to put together.
Yeah, the 4 hoops before, I mean, that was a big bulky piece.
Well, it did, and then you have to, like, especially in the ground scenario, you had to offset them, and we had all the provisions, but like it was, unless you practice it, it's hard to remember how to do it.
Yeah, this looks super, super simple.
Way more simple.
So what are we talking about cost-wise?
So normally it's $280 on our website. Here at the show at Overland Expo, we have it at $250. We highly recommend pairing it up with the soft shackle. We're big fans of soft shackle.
Absolutely.
No metal in the system, nothing that's less that could break and fly and be deadly. So, and we recommend one soft shackle with this system, and yeah, that's what we have.
Now you've been expanding a little bit, right? You've got the soft shackles, you've got kinetic energy ropes, you've got some other things. Now there was another tool that I was shown that was kind of interesting, that orange rope.
Oh, the deadloop. Yes. So the deadloop is a really interesting. It's about 4 feet long, and it's just a single piece of that dynema that's looped in on itself. And what this does is just it allows you to have a lot of versatility. It actually has a lot of different uses that you can use it for. So some scenarios would be that if you are trying to help recover someone who's stuck on the side of the road who doesn't have a recovery point, you can get up underneath there, grab a frame rail, a nice hard point on the vehicle, and use that now as a solid point for you to bring them out on. Another time we used it on was our Tacoma was sliding off the trail. The rear was sliding off the trail. And so we ended up snatching up to a tree, back to his frame rail, and we used this to attach to the frame rail so that we can get his rear back up onto the trail. So, and other times, like if you
Getting that around rock sliders or anything else that's not normal.
Not normal, exactly. You can create a really solid point but it's also super compact, lightweight, and you can easily stuff it into one of these bags. You know, soft shackles can live in this bag too. So it's just one.
Or anytime you just need a couple more inches.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Awesome, man.
Yeah.
Thanks for your time. Really appreciate it.
You're very welcome.
These are awesome products. Be sure and check them out. Website again?
DeadmanOffRoad.com.
Simple. Thanks much, man.
You're welcome.
We look
like hell. We've been here for 2 days already, right?
I can blow some of the sand out of my body.
All right. We are over here with Josh from LavaBox. And if you watch our channel, you know we just started using one of these. I think they're awesome. The first time I saw it was in Loveland last year.
Yep.
And you couldn't keep them in stock.
No, sir, we still can't.
So tell us a little bit about this thing.
Yeah, so this is our tabletop volcano, and this is 120,000 BTUs, so a massive fire, and you've seen it now. You see it's a crazy fire. And this, of course, is an ammo can, but it's a brand new ammo can. We don't use
recycle.
You can't use them. Definitely want to use brand new ammo cans, anything that had lead in it. And unfortunately, a lot of the paints in classic ammo cans also contain lead, so you don't ever want to burn those.
That would be bad.
That'd be bad. Yeah, you don't want to burn lead. So this guy, brand new cans. We high heat powder coat them, or we'll do them in a naked. Did you get a naked or did you get
No, we got the painted.
You got the painted one. So the naked one's patina. This one's actually been burning for 2 years. That's the same one that was burning in Loveland. I love this one. It's my personal one. It's my favorite. So,
and you would think something this small doesn't put out much heat, but you've got these kind of briquette things in here, and that helps radiate the heat out.
And I think the coolest thing about those is the weight. They're amazing.
Oh, they weigh nothing.
They weigh nothing.
Yeah,
so it's a ceramic weave. They're really cool. And then the whole thing cools down very quickly too because of it. So they hold a great amount of heat and they transfer that heat out. So 15-minute cool down, would you say?
Yeah, so in our experience using it, we ran into kind of two things I wanted to ask you about.
Sure.
First off, we were in a pretty grassy area and it actually scorched the grass underneath.
Definitely.
So this one, I see that you've got some legs on it. So what's going on here?
So that's a new invention. That's the over under grill thingy.
Over under grill thingy.
That's how I patented it actually. My lawyer still is like, "Are you sure you want to call it that?" I was like, "Forever, I want to call it that." So that actually, you can see that's a great stand. It's 5 inches tall, so it meets all the requirements for Leave No Trace and for national parks.
Okay.
And then these little feet on there flip over and become the grill.
Nice.
So that's why it's the over under. Original design, you're right. I originally designed it to be in existing fire pits. But then realized that people really did want to use it on tabletops, wanted to use it in places, and as you know, it gets to about 250 degrees, so it gets hot.
Yeah.
And the top, of course, as you know, gets to be like 800 degrees. So
it does get a little warm here. And now the other thing was we were getting some wind going on. I mean, we got a little breeze here, but in a stronger wind, it's really blowing it away.
Yep.
And we thought something like some kind of protection ring, a little windscreen would help.
I know you mentioned it. It's in the works. So what I've designed is it's flat pack. So it'll fold out. It's about 1.5 foot tall, and it'll fit around it to kind of give you a little more protection. I will say that the LavaBox is the best in the wind. I mean, it
works really well.
Yeah, of all the fire pits, it's the best in the wind. But I totally agree with you. A little more radiate heat out too, so you can turn it towards your legs if you want to or whatever. So it'll be out soon.
I'm getting kind of toasty over here. Now normally you're running this off a a bigger tank, right? A larger, a 5 or 10 or 20.
Yeah.
Now,
Definitely.
can you run it off a 1 pound?
You can, but if you've ever run a Coleman stove, you know that those 1 pound cylinders, yeah, they're okay. You know, they're not all juiced the same. They're low pressure, so they can be kind of funky, but they will run. And if you run about this height, you've noticed the pound the usage. That runs about 3 hours per pound, and so you'll get about 2.5, 3 hours out of that little green guy.
Okay.
And you got to use an adapter.
Hey, right,
So.
right. But now you've got the box, you've got the over/under thingy, you've got a windscreen thing. How am I going to put this all into one package?
That guy right there, the bug out bag.
A new bag.
The new bag, yep. So the new bag is right here. It's got everything you need. You can carry your regulator, carry your of course, your LavaBox inside, carry your over/under on this side. You can actually put I've designed this to have a 1 pounder if you wanted to carry a 1 pounder with you. Put it right there. Put your gloves in there. I mean, it's pretty awesome. That's the bug out bag. Those guys retail for $50, and actually we just had we just sold out a bunch of them because a bunch of EMT guys saw them and they're like, "That's the perfect size for my kit." And I was like, "All right." So I made a good deal with those guys. So we said, not LavaBox, that's okay. And I want to show you one more thing.
Hold on, my ass is on fire.
Don't catch on fire. Look, I want to show you one more thing before you go. So I also designed these. These are also patent pending. This is our new propane tank cover called the Tank Top. And it was actually a base originally. I cut off a leg waiter, sewed the bottom, and I didn't want anything sharp in my raft, and I didn't want it bouncing around in my truck. And so I put a leg waiter on there, believe it or not. And everybody saw it and they said, "God, I want that." And so I designed this guy. This is Kevlar reinforced in the bottom, big wetsuit material, big giant wetsuit zipper. And then now you got a nice soft thing, and you just clip it right into your truck, so it doesn't roll around and make you mad.
Very nice.
He's buying one right now. Awesome. Thank you.
Now this stuff is all not only made in the USA, they're from Colorado, like us. So definitely appreciate local business there.
We try.
So thanks so much, Josh.
Always
a pleasure seeing you.
Great to see you.
And if you're in Colorado, also be sure and check these out at the Edge 4x4 Automotive.
That's our guys.
They're our local distributor there in Colorado. So check them out there. Thanks so much.
Yeah.
Best of luck with you always.
Great to see you. Thank you.
Now, if you watch our videos, you know we talk a lot about Trails Off-Road. It is our primary off-road navigation system. I'm here with John. Tell us a little bit about it for the people who don't know.
Yeah, so we're Trails Off-Road, and what we do is we create self-guided trail guides all over the United States. We have a team of writers in-house to create content. We're gonna go map a trail waypoint by waypoint and describe the entirety of the trail, what vehicle we recommend. We're gonna take a lot of photos and videos of all the trails to make sure you have the information that you need to safely and confidently explore the backcountry. So we've got trails all over the United States, yeah, we basically just try to make it easy to find content that you're interested in.
And now you've got mobile apps.
Yep, so we have our Android and iOS app, and both of those allow you to download content to your device. So when you're out in the middle of the field with no service whatsoever, you have all of our really high quality information at your fingertips.
And now, one thing that I really like is kind of the community aspect of everything, being able to see trail reviews from other people, get more updated trail information,
Yep.
and I think that is a big piece of it.
Yeah, so we allow our community to leave trail reviews. You can leave a star review of what you thought about the trail, whether you liked it or not. A new feature that we added is whether you agree with our trail rating. So we have a community consensus piece. Basically, you can say whether you thought our difficulty rating was accurate or if it was too easy or too hard compared to what we rated the trail. So it really gives you good insight into what trails you'd be interested in. And also with Colorado trails in particular, or mountainous trails, a lot of our community is going to run those, so you can actually have very up-to-date information on what snowpack levels are like and whether trails are passable.
Right, that is a huge, huge thing. Being able to just see, oh yeah, last week someone ran this and it was impassable.
Yep.
Good information.
Exactly.
Now, I understand there's some cool new features coming.
Yep. Yep, so we are introducing a new trail guide system. Basically, it's going to allow us to prioritize our trail guides. So we're creating scout routes, and a scout route is basically a trail guide light per se. It's going to be a few pictures, including a hard part of the trail, and it's going to have difficulty and a description. So it's going to be a lighter version of our trail guide. And as an all-access member, you'll be able to upvote what trail guides you want to see prioritized from our scout routes.
To become a more full-fledged route.
Yep. So it's going to allow us to really have our community let us know what areas you guys want to see for full-on trail guides, as it'd be pretty hard to map all the United States at this very moment. So yeah, it'll help us prioritize mapping out full guides.
Now, there's free and membership.
Yep.
What do you get for free? What does it cost to be a member?
Yep, so our free membership, we're gonna provide a lot of really good information. Our all access membership is $25 for the entire year. It's gonna unlock all the content in our system, and it's gonna make it a lot easier to find content. All of our tracks will be color coded for your convenience, especially with our handy feature to upload to Gaia. As a free member, it's just gonna upload a blue track to Gaia, but as an all access member, it'll upload the color coded track with all the waypoints associated, neatly organized in a folder in Gaia GPS.
Very cool. Now, we've been using the iOS app for the most part, and it works with CarPlay. So you see it right on your big Uconnect screen. That is really cool. Hopefully you guys get the waypoints in there soon.
Yep.
That would be awesome. And we just switched to our main device being an Android, and there's a few things that need to happen on the Android to clean it up a little bit, but it's coming along really nicely as well. Does that work with Android Auto?
It will be in the future. That's one of our tasks. So yep, when we're constantly creating better product, constantly improving, and we're a very grassroots Colorado company. Started from nowhere, and now we're here. So if you guys have any feedback or suggestions, Kerry is a power user, so we appreciate all of your feedback and trying to make the best possible and also the easiest user experience we can, because the last thing you want to be doing in the middle of nowhere is fiddling around with your device. You want to be out there enjoying the trails, and so we try to make it super easy to find the content you're interested in.
Now, you mentioned that you can download stuff to the device, and that's on a state-by-state basis. I can download all of Colorado, so I don't need internet access when I'm out somewhere. Even if it's not a trail that I was planning on going to, I can pull up, I can get the information, I can get those waypoints without having to have internet access. That's huge.
Exactly, yep. And like Harry said, you can download the entire state at a time, so you're not individually downloading tracks, because when you're out there, you want to have the ability to, on the fly, maybe try a different trail that you didn't know existed. So we make it really easy, download the entire state, and you have all of our color-coded tracks at your fingertips for ease of use and convenience.
Yep. Highly, highly recommend trailsoffroad.com. The app's fantastic. We use it all the time. Thanks so much.
Thanks so much, Kerry.
Really appreciate the time.
Appreciate you.
Best of luck with everything.
Thank you, sir.
Now, when we were talking about coming out here to Overland Expo and wondering if anyone wanted to do some trails or anything, someone said, you have got to go see Paul and Amy with Adventure Tool Company. They've got some awesome products, and they're based in Nederland, and that's right down the street from us. So pleasure to meet you.
Pleasure to meet you, Kerry.
Tell us about your products.
Well, Adventure Tool Company is manufactured in the Rocky Mountains of Colorado, in Nederland, Colorado. We're a Colorado-based company. Everything that we produce uses in the United States sourced materials. So we can tell you the pedigree of every bag that we make, where every component comes from. But with that being said, one of our original design products is called the Adventure Tool Company Shop Roll. It's designed to force guys to get rid of the junk in their Jeeps and the weight.
None of us do that.
Yeah.
None of us do that.
Because generally speaking, most Jeeps or off-road vehicles only have about 60 to 70 unique nuts and bolts. The Shop Roll is designed to force the guy to narrow down the tools that fit on that vehicle, so it will hold your sockets or Torx fasteners, all the assorted hand tools. It's the largest tool roll on the market, so it actually holds real man tools, not baby tools. The work mat holds the tools up out of the dirt.
This is a great piece. This extension on here for just keeping things clean, I love that.
Well, thank you, Kerry. And it was designed because so many times you're on the trail, and as you take tools out, they end up getting set in the dirt. This keeps them out of the dirt. It also has a large storage pocket for an accessory ground tarp, because at some point you get on, under, or over the vehicle. It also has a large storage pouch for all those small electrical parts and pieces. Once you're done, the work mat locks the tools in. You have storage bays for your mechanics gloves.
That's awesome. You just got storage everywhere on this thing, and the right things in the right places. Because as you're getting into it, you need your gloves.
Absolutely.
As you're putting it away, you need to put the gloves away.
Exactly.
It just kind of makes sense.
And you're going to get dirty, so it also has rag storage. And then once you're done with it, it all rolls up. The material that it's made from is American-made wax canvas. It's actually produced by the original company in Ohio that has produced it for a century. Then all you do is your tools won't rattle. They won't fall out, and when it's time for a trail repair, it goes on the trail. You put your work gloves on, you grab your shop rags, you set your beer right here, and then you call Carrie to come fix your Jeep for you.
So all the tools are ready.
Exactly.
This is just such a well thought out design. The extra piece here, the storage on both sides for your gloves and things. I love the way this organizes out. And then the one thing about it is you do have this big bulky piece here, right?
Fair enough.
For something that you just need more thin space, thin storage, you have this bag over here, which folds up into more of a flat storage.
Exactly. And so we were asked to solve the problem of guys have filled the back of their Jeeps, all the horizontal space. So you got refrigerators, you got drawers, you got aluminum boxes. So all that horizontal space has been taken up. So we designed this solution. It's called an Expedition Pack, and it's a technical tool bag that has multiple pockets that are color zoned. So you have a blue zone, red zone. Red could be SAE, blue could be metric, and then when the bag closes, it's then designed to fit between the refrigerator and the wall of the Jeep, or the refrigerator and the drawer system. And then when a repair occurs, you lay it on the ground, and you have these mesh windows. We don't use vinyl or plastic. They trap moisture, they get cold, they crack, they tear. This mesh is military spec TP21 mesh, so that you can see what's in the pocket very quickly before you decide what tool you may need. And then, since it has high density foam in the walls and the bottom, that protects the refrigerator that it's sitting next to, or the drawer system it's next to. And so it's a much more technical, comprehensive tool bag.
It's also going to hold things tighter together to kind of prevent that rattling.
Absolutely right, Kerry.
Now, you also don't use any Velcro, right?
We don't.
And why is that?
So these are not Velcroed in, and the main reason is Velcro attracts everything. If you've got a dog, you travel with your cat, all that fur is going to get caught in that Velcro, and then it contaminates the Velcro, and then you start losing the stickiness of the Velcro. The other two issues is, as you remove the bag multiple times from the original bag, you're wearing that Velcro out, and then the stickiness doesn't work over time. And then the third reason that never makes any sense to me is you got $500 worth of tools in this pouch, and you set it over there during a stressful time of a repair, and then you close your bag and you go over here, well, you kind of forgot about those $500 worth of tools.
Seen that happen.
It just, keep everything with the tool bag. That's where your tools are supposed to be, and you'll reduce the likelihood of misplacing a tool.
Now, of course, they've got a broad range of other bags, from small to large bags for recovery equipment, for whatever it is that you want to keep with you. And this stuff is super, super high quality. The canvas is fantastic. The straps go all the way around. They're not just on the outside, so you're not going to break stuff either.
Absolutely. Plus, we back everything up with a lifetime warranty. We've been manufacturing in the state of Colorado for over 10 years, and we look forward to provide your storage solution for you.
Awesome. Thanks, Paul.
Gary.
Appreciate the time.
Absolutely.
As we're walking through here, something caught my eye here, and it's this coffee and a tea bag. And I've actually tried this before, and it was really good. tell us a little about the story about this. How'd you come to do it, and what's going on?
Yeah, thanks, Kerry. So my name is Zach France. I'm the founder of Wildland Coffee, and about a year ago, I was sick of using my French press when I was camping. I thought, there's got to be a better way to do this, and I had never seen a good solution to that problem. And so I thought, why not just put coffee into a tea bag? And so that's what I've been doing. And our
hence
vision,
the name.
Hence the name, yeah, Wildland Coffee, and our vision is to be the #1 coffee brand for the outdoor enthusiast.
And it is just that simple. Boil some water, drop the bag in it, let it sit for a moment, and you've got some good tasting coffee. Like I said, I've tried this personally. I'll vouch for it. It tastes really good. We did a giveaway on Colorado off-road trails before, so really appreciate you donating some for that. So if you're looking for a great off-road solution, camping solution, and you don't want to mess with all that extra equipment, coffee in a tea bag.
Yeah, check it out. It's at wildlandcoffee.co.
Do you have different tastes?
Yeah, so we have our dark roast here, we have an extra dark, and then on our website we also have a medium and a light roast.
Because who wants decaf off-road, right?
So I get asked about decaf almost every single day. So we will have decaf soon. Yes, because we get asked so much.
But decaf when you're camping, what's the point?
I think people,
That'd be like alcoholless wine.
I never thought there'd be so many decaf people, but there's a lot of decaf people out there. I don't understand it, but the customer's
Whatever
not wrong.
works.
The customer's not wrong. Whatever,
That's right.
Whatever makes me money.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Appreciate seeing you.
Thanks, Gary.
All right, and one of the booths that we definitely wanted to check out here at Overland Expo was DMOS, right?
Thank you.
And
Appreciate that.
Susan.
It's Susan Piper. I'm the founder of DMOS Collective.
And you make shovels.
We do make shovels.
So sounds like not the most exciting topic, but you have some really innovative designs in your shovels. So tell us some about them.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, I think that the shovel innovation was really necessary, and even though DMOS is probably the first company since maybe World War I to look at redoing a shovel, a lot of people have a shovel problem. And the worst shovel problem you can have is not having one with you when you need it. Because if you've ever had to dig with your hands or use your floor mats or get a toe when you really could have just dug yourself out, you know what I'm talking about. So we originally designed a shovel to be like $100 of sort of what we call save your ass, pardon me for saying so. And it ends up being that the form factor of the shovel is what makes DMOS so unique. We have designed shovels so that they can be always at hand and never in the way. So the unique aspect of our design is a telescoping handle and shovels that fully collapse. So you're looking at the Stealth shovel here that is fully collapsed and in a automotive mount, and it's on the spare tire. And this product is about 17 inches long by about 9 high. And this mounts on roof racks, it mounts on spare tires, it mounts on truck bed racks. And when you go to use it, it becomes a full-size tool. This is the Stealth shovel, and the Stealth shovel is our sand, snow, slush, sort of think shovel rake hero.
The big material mover.
Big material mover. It's a shovel rake. It is as wide, it's 17 inches wide, so if you have 35 or 37 inch tires, it's going to be as wide as your tire, and it effectively moves sand unlike any other shovel on the market. This thing is absolutely the bomb, and it is a hero.
If you've ever tried to dig your vehicle out that's been framed out in snow, and you've got a little portable survival shovel, you know this is a very difficult thing to do and very time consuming.
This makes it so easy.
You want something that not only can move a lot of material, but can reach.
Yeah, so this goes from the passenger side to the driver's side, and a lot of time your vehicle ends up being almost high-centered, especially in sand on a Razorback, or if you're in snow, same thing. You need to get underneath the axle of the vehicle to remove material to be able to move your vehicle out. Even if you've got someone who's towing your vehicle out, a lot of times you have to shovel around the tires with snow just to be able to have an effective tow. So the Stealth is that hero. Everyone should have this shovel. Popular Mechanics calls it the only shovel you need, and we'd argue that it is the hero in our line. And this was the shovel we got to start with. But there are people who have hard earth problems. So therefore, we also invented the Delta shovel. And just like the Stealth shovel, the Delta is always at hand and never in the way. It is a 3-in-1 survival and off-road shovel. So you're seeing it right now in its tow mode, but it also, if you move the pin, the pins are a little tight because all of the fitment is tight.
This is more of our camping type shovel.
It
where
is.
we need to dig holes, we need to move, so make a hole for the toilet or whatever.
Right.
But the thickness of this and the durability, you're not just going to move sand. You can move some heavy dirt with this stuff.
Absolutely. And the thing about this is that this product has been tested with a 10-to-1 fulcrum that it can lift 1,000 pounds. So I know you might lift 1,100 pounds, but I can tell you that it probably will lift 100 pounds too. Another thing that it's been tested to do in terms of feats of strength, it's been used as an anchor and lifted a Humvee. So just to give you a sense, you probably know the Humvee probably weighs 9,000 pounds. So just gives you a real sense of the strength.
Used as a ground anchor?
It can be used as a ground anchor.
Wow.
And on top of it, it's anti-rattle. So even though you can hear the pin is a little bit noisy, if I hold the pin, I'm going to just try to move that connector. And can you see that does not move?
Nice.
So it's this incredibly, incredibly strong product. So when used as this shovel, obviously it is in this mode. I showed earlier that this was the hoe mode. The third mode is the stow mode, and the stow mode has the product collapse completely down again, back into, it's almost a transformer of shovels. So this ends up being 24 by 11. And this also mounts on the side of your truck bed rack. It mounts on a roof rack, and we have another rack, another mount, so that it can be basically the mounts over the blade and locks. We also make a mount that locks over the shaft. So super versatile. We make bags for all of our products, and again, the brand promise is to help you be your own hero. These are all tools that fit in your rig. And that is really, I think, the number one thing that you need. They're super effective, they're heritage quality, they will last forever. And so it's really the only shovels you need.
So if you watch the channel, one of the things that we harp on a lot is self-recovery. Being able to get yourself out of that situation without having to call for help. And a lot of times, the tool that you need is a shovel. We've used ours many times, and boy, has it been a pain in the butt, because our shovel's about this size, right there.
Yeah.
And so trying to dig out under a frame is very difficult. I love the length of these handles, and even though they use this like button connection here, which you would think wouldn't be really strong, this thing is incredibly strong.
It's incredibly strong. There's 3 inches of overlap between this telescoping handle in each segment. And so what ends up happening is that it's got a truncated flat side. You really cannot, people think you can break these shafts, and you cannot break these shafts. And the worst thing that could happen is you might get a little bit of a bend in your shaft, like if you drove over it or if you threw it off of a cliff. And it's all reparable. So like you can replace the pins, you could replace the handle of the shaft. This is a solid milled connector. Everything about this shovel is basically meant to last forever, and it can be repaired.
If you see their ads, I see them all the time on social media, and you go and you look at it initially, you might get a little sticker shock. I mean, they're not a $40 shovel that you're going to pick up at Walmart.
No.
This is high quality. You get what you pay for. Buy once, cry once. Buy good quality tools.
Yeah, thank you so much. I really appreciate everyone listening. Especially being an overlander, you just know, like you said, you've got to be able to be your own hero. You've got to be able to save yourself. So you want the right tools. So this is for people for whom, adventure is not an option. They're out there. And they know they need to save themselves. So with that, thanks for listening, and I really appreciate your time and
Susan.
the interview. And to all you out there, please check us out at www.DMOScollective.com. That's DMOS. Do my own stuff, or you can name it whatever. It stands for something like that. Yeah. So please enjoy, and thanks for listening.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Now, this is another relatively new product, right?
Yes.
That I've been seeing lately. I thought it was really interesting because it actually solves a problem that I've had in the past, and this is a new roller fair lead for synthetic rope.
Yes.
So why was this developed? What problem does it solve? Tell us about it.
Absolutely. Well, we've been in the off-road industry for about 35 years, and we've watched the evolution from steel cable, aircraft, and now synthetic blends. in all different shapes and sizes. So when you're looking at the actual mechanical data, which is fantastic as far as the yield, but at the end of the day, it is plastic and it does have an Achilles heel. So if you were to look at the American rope manufacturers' recommendations, the critical degradation starts at 150 degrees with a melting point of 297. We figured we can do better. So, or at least that was the object, which we've pretty much succeeded. We've taken off 7 pounds off of a standard 4-roller, and we've eliminated the mechanical friction of a standard Fairlead. So it is based around synthetic ropes, can be used,
Somewhat.
not recommended, but can be used with a steel cable, however it is. It is all sourced with U.S. materials, 6061 T6, manufactured in Mesa, Arizona. And then everything is precision machined with 15 thousandths tolerance, 304 stainless on the main rollers and axles with an 863 bronze bushings.
So now if you've got a winch and you've got synthetic rope, you probably have something like this on the front. Nice smooth Fairlead so that the synthetic line comes in and out of this. But I have seen in my personal experience using a normal Fairlead like this that my rope got so hot that it actually melted and it flattened out the rope and it was gone. I mean, I had to replace it. And so as soon as I saw that there was a roller Fairlead for a synthetic rope, I'm like, well, that's going to eliminate that friction, reduce that heat tremendously, right? Does it eliminate it or just significantly reduce it?
Significantly reduce. I've learned after many years.
I'm not going to try and put you on the spot.
Oh well, I love it. Never say never. However, greatly, significantly reduce.
Yeah.
Obviously, our 2-roller version, it does utilize a little bit of a friction base. These are a Type 3 hard anodized finish, so it is incredibly slippery and incredibly hard. Is it like stainless? It's stainless, not stain-free. It's the next closest thing to perfect that we could build.
Nice, nice. So I think if, for your casual user, a regular Fairlead is probably going to do just fine. If you're the guy who just has it in there for an emergency situation, normal Fairlead's going to be fine.
Absolutely.
If you're doing a lot of recoveries, you're out in the field all the time, we use our winch all winter long. And sometimes during the summer, but all winter long, we're doing multiple pulls every day. I think upgrading to a roller Fairlead is going to help our rope last a lot longer. It's going to prevent problems with it. I think this is a great product that you should check out. Where can they find more information?
HawsePro.com, and we have Facebook, Instagram, and then of course, HawsePro.com on the internet.
Great. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it.
Appreciate it.
One of the things that gets talked about online all the time is communications. How do you have emergency communications? And what's the best choice? CB, GMRS, or ham? Well, in my opinion, it's none of those. It's satellite.
I agree.
Right? If you're out in the boonies and there's no one that's listening, what good is a radio for you?
Not going to help you.
So what we decided over a year ago was that we wanted a satellite communication device, and our choice was Zoleo. And there's a number of good reasons for it, right? You got a good product at a good price with good features and good price plans. So tell us a little bit about Zoleo. I'm a huge fan. I already know it, but not everyone does.
Well, it's nice to have somebody like you come in and give a genuine testimonial, and I appreciate that. I came to satellite communications about 10 years ago when I was going on a backcountry elk hunt in Idaho. My wife asked how the cell reception was, and I laughed. And she said, well, you have a 1-year-old now. You don't get to go if we can't get a hold of you. And I thought about that a whole lot, and it really bothered me as a parent. 2 years ago, Zoleo came out with a lot of features. So one, we operate on the Iridium network, which is widely considered the best network in the market. There's another great competitor out there in the marketplace that also uses Iridium. I compare it to having an Android phone or an iPhone, but both on Verizon. Mm-hmm. Same service, different hardware. So when it comes to the device itself, We retail the device for $200. Right now, it happens to be on sale for $150. But on device itself, you've got
Which is way less than the competitors. Got to point that out.
you get to go ahead and point that out.
I'm going to point that out.
On device itself, it's a little different functionality than our competitor. We don't have a screen. You don't type on the device. But you've got a simple check mark box. You press that button. Whomever you've designated that to get that message gets a check-in message and says, hey, I'm okay, and here's where I'm at, and drops a pin. Worst case scenario, you can hit the SOS button. Emergency services will come to your GPS pinned location.
Now, in the latest update, there was something about you can have two-way communication with first responders.
God, that's almost like I set you up for that. So we have a dedicated Zoleo app that's free for anybody. Oh, one other feature I should point out. Our device comes with its own dedicated phone number. And so people can text you. Like my wife has my Zoleo number programmed into my contact information in her iPhone. So she knows if I'm off grid to text that number and I get the message directly from her. But when you open up our app, you just simply tap new message, go through your entire contact list, pick anybody with an SMS number, a mobile number, or an email address, and you can send them a message from no matter where you are in the world. Doesn't matter if you're in downtown Portland, Oregon, where I happen to live, or if you're in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean on a freighter, if you're in the Bering Straits of Alaska as a crab fisherman, or if you're over here in this beautiful part of Arizona, overlanding across the North Rim. You can do it from anywhere. You get dark sky weather via satellite, so you can tell it looks a little dark over the ridge there, what's coming, it'll tell you, or what's tomorrow going to look like. Yesterday was very windy here. I was worried about today. I looked again, not as bad today, it's pretty nice. In the SOS, once we initiate SOS contact here, the GEOS is the Global Emergency Services Network that we use. They will initiate a conversation with you. Hey, what's going on? It could be something as simple as, I think I broke my leg and I'm going to need help getting out of here. I can't get back to my vehicle. Or it could be, hey, I'm a little short of breath and there's some pain running down my left arm. Is that a problem? They're going to say, yeah,
could be.
Sit down. Maybe we'll get somebody out to you as soon as we can. So it's nice. And if you don't respond to that initiation, obviously they're already got.
I love that. Being able to communicate with an emergency personnel without having to just sit there and wait and hope someone shows up.
Right.
To be able to get that going back and forth.
And GEOS also, the Global Emergency Services Network we use, when they contact local authorities, they give them your dedicated Zoleo number. So they will start sending you text messages. Hey, Tyler, in my case, what's going on? Where are you at? Well, I'm back in the St. Joe, which is a drainage I hunt in Idaho. What's going on? I fell down the hill, broke my leg. I can't get back to my rig. I need help. Great. We know who to send in. We've contacted the local ranger, the local sheriff, local search and rescue. They're on their way. So it's very helpful.
So, a couple of reasons why we chose Zoleo. Number one, the price of the hardware. Okay.
Everybody loves dogs.
The price of the hardware is close to half of what some of the big brand stuff is, and the monthly pricing plans with the ability to go into standby mode.
Absolutely.
So that not everybody needs the service 12 months of the year.
Correct.
And if you're just a hunter and you only use it 3 or 4 months of the year, you can drop that plan down to, was it $4?
$4 a month for a maintenance fee.
So that's nothing, instead of having to always pay that $35, $45, $50 a month. I think that's huge. We're on the kind of the mid-tier plan, which I think gives us like 200, 250 messages.
250 messages.
And that's plenty for us.
Unless you're a teenager, it's pretty good.
Yeah. And why did we buy one? Well, we were actually here in Arizona a year ago on a trail by ourselves. I know. But we were, and it was supposed to be an easy trail. It got harder and harder, and it got later. It was almost 10 o'clock at night. There was people that were expecting us somewhere. We had no way to get a hold of anybody, tell them that we were okay. And if we needed help, we were absolutely hosed. So as soon as we got out that trail and I got internet access, I was on my phone and I ordered one of these immediately. So we have used it constantly. We have our SOS contacts. We have our check-in contacts. People know where we are. gives us that peace of mind that should there be a problem and it's not severe, we can contact one of our friends. If it's a major problem, we can contact emergency services. So absolutely love the way this service works. Now, one thing I do want to point out is, as you said, it's a separate phone number.
Sure.
You don't want someone to add that Zoleo number to your existing contact, because sometimes it'll text back to your regular messages and you won't get it. So when I set someone up, I say, add this as a second contact for me. Add a new contact, carry satellite or something, so that there's no interference. But something that is super cool about how it works is that since it's an app on your phone, first it's going to try Wi-Fi, then it's going to try cellular, and then it's going to try satellite.
We'll always choose the cheapest option for you.
So just because you're using the Zoleo app doesn't mean you're eating up your satellite
Absolutely.
minutes. So really, really cool feature there that I don't think any of the other ones have. So awesome way of saving money. And we bought one of these for our daughter because she's out all the time. Absolutely highly recommend Zoleo. Thanks so much for your time. Absolutely love the product. Thank you for hanging out with us here at Overland Expo West 2022. Such a wide variety of stuff. And one of the things that really sets this show apart is all these different trailers. There are so many different trailers here, dozens of companies. This one here, this is the Patriot pop-up thing. This thing is absolutely wicked. Just insane amount of trailers. So if you're into camping, you want to get into it, you want something that is going to get you all over the place, there's no limit to the number of trailers you're going to find here. But hope you enjoyed all the different interviews that we did today. Thanks for watching, everybody. From Katarina and myself, stay safe out there. We'll see you on the trails.